See, once again, they ain't trying to let us be great, Ty. You
But
know,
we are.
I ain't trying to be no conspiracy theorist or whatever, but I'm just saying they fucking with us tonight. They fucking with us.
Look, somebody
Hey
don't.
Trey, hey Joel, and D Carrie. Yes, I am from Louisiana. I am from New Orleans, Louisiana,
There you go.
born and raised. I know you can hear it in my voice. But thank y'all for coming on. But what I was saying, Ty, is, you really are speaking my language. You believe that podcasting is an act of self-care,
Mm,
both listening to podcasts, but more so for me, creating a podcast is an act of self-care. And it's one of those things that I really geek out about it. You know what I'm
mhm.
saying? And I think that's the therapist in me, that because I see the opportunity for so much internal healing as you find your people. I always tell, my villagers, anybody that follows me, all of my villagers, y'all know I'm always talking about finding your people and how important it is for you to find your people. You're not always born into your people.
Word.
You see what I'm saying? You're not always born into your people.
Yeah.
There might be your blood people, but they are not the people that get you, that understand you, that allow you to exist in whatever form you need to exist in, right? And podcasting, like you said, there is a community for everybody. And it helps you to see, like, I'm not the only one. What you mean? It's not only me,
Yeah. 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 And
and
people
that's a
waiting.
beautiful thing.
And people waiting for that validation. I tell my people, the people I work with, your greatness is not about you. It ain't got shit to do with you. It's about the people who are waiting for you to step up and step
Yeah,
up so they
yeah,
too can go.
yeah,
It's for people who are waiting in the shadows, waiting for you, like you specifically, to show
yeah,
up, to show up so that they can also know that your possibility, that they too can show up,
yeah.
and so that's what it's about. We as It's our duty, Nina Simone said it's our duty. It's the artist's duty, and that's what we're here for. That's what I'm here for. And it took a long time. I was a writer who didn't write, I was a creative who didn't create for a long time,
Mhm.
you know,
Oh,
in my own belief, and allowing this imposter syndrome, which is really starts from education system, that they teach you that you don't belong in some way, shape, or form. And imposter syndrome begins to create.
yeah,
I can't be,
yes,
I see myself. I know I exist. I know that I'm intelligent, but I can't be because of the information that I'm receiving. And here
yeah,
you go. You develop into these imposter syndrome and all these other things that get exacerbated because of the society in which we live in, and the
yeah,
deliberate and intentional act to silence us,
yes,
and
yes,
make us feel some kind of way about our genius, because that's what it
yes,
is. And that's what the space is about too, recognizing that we have it all. We have every piece that we need. We got the economic power, we got the innovation, we got the tech, the geeks, we got the
yeah,
voice,
yeah.
we've got it
We got
all.
the healers
We got
and the
everything.
helpers. Yeah,
The disruptors, you know what I'm saying? um the people
yeah.
who want to take naps, and that's okay. You know what I
Listen,
mean?
I took a nap just a little right
You know what
before
I'm
we
saying?
started. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's a place and a space for everyone, and we have it all. And we got to start recognizing that when these conglomerates say, here you go, a little contest or whatever, or here you go, an opportunity here, what they're doing is opening up the door,
yeah,
just like at a club. And when they feel like they have too much, they close the fucking door.
yes, yes, yes,
We again, it's 2020, and we free people. We either going to continue to work at sitting at other people's tables, or recognize that this doesn't go without us, period. The moment we
mm,
withdraw, there's a collapse.
yes,
But because we're not yet in that conversation, because of our socialization,
yeah,
it becomes a hard sell. But we really have to recognize, you know, all of these statements coming out by all of these different companies, they are super afraid of losing black dollars. And that's the point. That's period. I can stop the
Yeah.
conversation. That's the
Yeah.
reason. So
Yeah.
so our black dollars are so meaningful, you know, that you're willing to go with everything that you negate day after day, ignore day after day, to speak up now because you're afraid that my black dollar might actually go to a black business.
Listen, you know, to the point where they changing the whole name of a whole company that's been in place for over 100 years. You know, they changing the
Jemima.
name of Aunt Jemima.
Yeah, I heard.
The picture, the name, and all of that. I said, well, it's about damn time.
Listen.
It's about damn time, and that's because of the importance of the black dollar. And I think, you know, people want to kind of wrap this into cancel culture, but I don't think that this particular piece is about cancel culture. This is not about cancel culture. This is about righting wrongs that should have never taken place. This is about changing the imagery of what it means to be black in America, all of those subtleties, right? Those microaggressions, those little things that, the way I described it the other day, I did a talk yesterday at work, and the way that I explained microaggressions was, let's say you're at work and you get a paper cut on your finger, and it's just one paper cut, and it's like, damn, I got a paper cut and it hurts, and that's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? But it's a paper cut, it'll heal. But if you get 15 paper cuts throughout the course of your day, every single day, well, then now you have a problem. Now you have a much bigger problem.
Absolutely.
Because 15 paper cuts hurt like hell. 15 paper cuts impact your ability to function properly.
Word. I get 2 and I'm ready to, I gotta go. I got
Listen
for the day.
Listen, I'm trying to told you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so you have all of these different little microaggressions that are standing, that are a part of the culture that is America, that we go out and we deal with every single day, walking down the pancake aisle.
Yeah.
Why do I need to see Mammy in the pancake aisle in 2020?
It starts
early. You know, so it's those little things.
Yeah, it starts early. And so, you know, I believe that this time, and I know we're supposed to be talking about Afros and audio, but this is how I show up.
Well, this is Afros and audio. Yeah, this is talking about Afros and audio, because this is why Afros and audio exists.
Yeah. I think we get to reimagine, you know, ourselves inside of this society.
Yes.
I think COVID did us a great service in showing us how much of a construct we live in.
Come on.
How much of you can't work from home. It's impossible to, okay, how I set you up this VPN and this you know, how can I get computers at your house so you can keep working for me? You know? Oh, okay, I thought that couldn't. All right. Good.
Yeah.
Now. You know, if I can go in a store and steal a Gucci belt, then what I look like standing in line for a Gucci belt next week? that takes away the value a little bit to me. That makes me think that the only piece of value this has on it is something that you've placed on it, right?
Yeah. Yes.
What America has done a great job doing, and especially with Black folks in this time of Reconstruction and after the civil rights and all this sort of thing, is pacify us and give us an idea that there's this freedom, this false sense of freedom, security, and wellness. Every time I leave my house and I come back, I just got a false sense of security and safety and freedom. Because if I walk out just to go to the store and I'm hemmed up, then now I recognize that actually I never had it at all.
Absolutely.
And I think that COVID has done us a great service for those of us who want to acknowledge the service. And the fact that we're in a construct. And I think that for many years, we'll go out there and we'll protest. I've been to every protest from trans rights to LGBTQ rights to Sandra Bland, you know, Eric Garner, May Day even, you know, about workers and poor people. I've been to every last one of them. And for this regime, I said, it's not, man, nah, I'm not getting out there for this regime. This regime wants me in their line of sight. And I'm not, and you're gonna have to take me this time. I'm not giving myself to you. That shit is not happening. Not this time around. And so we fight in these other ways that we can fight.
Yeah.
You know? And Afros and Audio is one such place where it's about creating opportunity for others. It's about saying that this shit matters. Your voice matters. There's value to this. And just as I want you to show up in excellence, I'm going to do my best to give you excellence, because there's value in this. It fucking matters. We all matter. And so it's time that we get to reimagine ourselves inside of this society and what that looks like, you know, and how we're able to stand together in ways that we are acknowledging our power as individuals and as a collective, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I love the way that you put that in terms of talking about not only reimagining ourselves, but to reimagine ourselves in excellence, right? Like to not just do enough, although enough is enough, right? But like not just doing enough to get by, but actually doing it at a very, very high level, showing up in excellence and really allowing ourselves to be seen. Because I know that that's one of the things, like for me personally and for a lot of other Black creatives, a huge part of the struggle or the barrier, the internal barrier to creating is not really knowing how to create, because we never were really given the space to kind of see what we can do. You know what I'm saying? And we don't have the access to information is not as readily available as it is within some other communities. Just, you know, I think same thing with like financial education, right? Like we're not receiving financial education from childbirth like some other people are. You know what I'm saying? And so what we're learning about how to manage our finances, we're learning that after we done fucked it all up, you know? And now we trying to catch up. We trying to fix what we did wrong and then try to grow from that place, right? And so I think the same thing exists within the creative community, is that Black people are, I don't care what nobody says, you could fight me if you want to, but Black people are the most creative group of people on this planet. I don't care, hands down, you're not gonna find a more creative group of people than Black people, hands down, right?
Absolutely.
And the crux that a lot of us fall upon is we have these ideas, and we have all of this creativity that is brewing inside of us, and we have, oh, that would be real cool if we did that, or oh, that, I bet you that look real dope. But how do I make that happen? How do I actually bring that thing to life? You know, how do I build that thing from the ground up? And Afros and Audio creates a space for you to not only verbalize your weird and crazy ideas, right? But for you to actually get the skills that you need to be able to really bring that vision to life. So talk a little bit about why it is so important for us to not only have the space to create, but the tools to create as well.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's like one of the major points and purpose of Afros and Audios, that we have to recognize, whether you know it for fact or not, that there is always an information gap, you know, between what we learn about too late and what they've already been talking about for some years, you know, what's accessible and what's out there and where the money is, because the money's there, you know, the money is simply currency. So the money is out there. It's on the table at all times. And so where the information gets disseminated is purposeful and it's deliberate, you know, and we always hope that those of us who get it, the information brings it back, you know, But again, you know, we because we're not a monolith, there's some scarce people in this world, and they think that if I got it, I got to keep it, right?
Yeah.
So and that's a problem, but it's a problem that, you know, we working on it. We getting
Yes.
there, but
Yes.
because there is abundance, and we all can do this. We all can be at the table, you know. We all can set up mad tables, you know, and wave at each other. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's the opportunity here. And so it's about bridging those gaps, those information gaps, those access gaps, where we can identify a brand and put someone else with them, where we can say, listen, I heard about this opportunity, and send it their way without no agenda for yourself, you know, without any need, but knowing that this is going to support someone that could be you, you know, at any given moment. So that's, for me, is why it's really, really important to be a part of this and build. Again, I created this, and when I say it was simply an idea. It was just it just came, you know, and I believe that all of us, if an idea came to you instead of the other 8 billion people in the world, then it's yours to realize, period. Because it could have went to somebody else. So it came to me. I was in a space to receive it, and I was crazy enough to say, all right, what the fuck? Okay, let's try it. Let's see what happens. You know what I mean? Let's see what happens. And it turned out, you know, and that's another, this is a tangent, but this is the coach in me. That's the other part with creatives getting in their own way, is they start thinking about the how, and the how will fuck you up before you start.
Yes, it will. Yes.
How will keep you in your bag.
Yes, it will.
And so
listen,
it's about committing to it, and respecting the fact that the world and the universe will intercede and will work on your behalf. And it's not about the how, it's that it turns out, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's what this is about. Afros and Audio is about possibility. You know, Afros and Audio is about, it's not about one person. It's not about a single person. I actually hope that I'm not going anytime soon, but what I'm saying is, I hope that this goes without me. You know, I hope that this community says, you know what, this shit is important. And because it's important and because it matters, that means that I matter. And that means that the work that we do, we can go fast by ourselves, but we can go farther with each other. And we have actually, again, deliberate, intentional, lost our sense of self in each other and what we can do together. I grew up in a community, you know, I grew up literally on a farm, and had Black folks all around me, and we shared and we bartered and we gave away, you know, and we never went without. And so I have an idea of what it looks like when people are leading with love and respect, and wanting to see the next person survive, you know, and make it. So that's my come from. I mean, that I think that leads everything I do, you know.
Yeah, and it shows, and it is felt. You know, I'm an empath, and so I feel people, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel people very deeply, and I firmly believe that you do not need to be in the same room with an energy in order to experience that energy. We see it all the time. That's how we're able to be moved by movies, you know, like by the portrayal of a certain character can bring you to tears, or it can bring you to rage, or it can bring you to embarrassment, you know what I'm saying? Because we're able to communicate emotion and communicate energy, whether we're in that space or not. And one of the things that, you know, you really have injected into the Afros and Audio brand, I'm talking about even in I talk about this logo all the time, Ty. Like, you know how I feel about the Afros and Audio logo, but it is so powerful. You know what I'm saying? Like, just the sight of it, it is so stunning. It's, besides the fact that it's visually stunning. Like, I mean, it's a badass logo. You know what I'm saying? Like, first and
Thank you.
foremost, it's just,
Thank you.
it's a badass logo. But when you really look at the logo, it is the embodiment of everything that Afros and audio is. You know what I'm saying? And what it stands for. And it communicates that energy. You can feel that energy that it was created with. Like, you
Yeah.
could tell that whoever created it sat down with those instructions that this is a space for Black people, because that is what emanates out of it. And
Mm-hmm.
everything that we put together, everything that we put out there, that same energy goes out into every piece of content, every piece of you know, learning opportunity, whatever it is, and you can feel it, and that helps to create the community, because people are drawn to that. You know, I hear people say from time to time how Black people don't support each other, and how Black women in particular always, you know, got an issue with each other, and I'm like, well, not really. That hasn't been my
Yeah.
experience,
Yeah.
not solely, right? Like, that's the story that we've been told.
Mm-hmm.
That's the story that we want to believe, because like you said, we are operating in a silo, most of
Mm-hmm.
us, right? And so it may just be that the Black people around you are not friendly, or not community minded, or whatever it might be. But if that's what you're looking for, it is out there for you. It
Absolutely.
does exist.
Mm-hmm.
And thankfully, I found myself surrounded by, you know, I found myself surrounded by Black people, Black women, Black men, Black children, Black elders, Black businesses, Black podcasters and products, the whole nine yards. That is a full-on community of people who are down for the cause. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And just in support of other Black people.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, Afros and audio is such an integral part of creating that community for those who are looking for it, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Community is intentional. You know, chosen friends, chosen family. It's so intentional, and you have to be willing. You know, you have to be willing to seek out what it is that you want. You know, you have
Yes.
to ask yourself your aversion to being free and having free thoughts, and being healed, and examining those things, those
Yeah.
pathologies. You have to be willing, right?
Yeah.
And once you're willing, then be intentional. And
Mm-hmm.
and the community is about the community, and we're moving in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
This would have been our second festival, you know. And
This weekend, I still
yeah,
have it on
I
my
know,
calendar. I was
I
gonna bring
know,
it up. I was like, I told my husband earlier, I said, babe, I was supposed to be leaving to go to New York tomorrow.
I
Like,
know, I
yeah,
know,
yeah.
I know. This was supposed to be our second annual in person, and it hurt. It hurt to have to pull back on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I respect the universe. You know, I'm not selective with the universe. You know, I don't
Right,
believe
right.
it sometimes and believe it another time. You know, and not
Yeah.
believe it another time. So this was an opportunity to pivot and decide what was next for us as a community, and also bring the community more inside. This is not about. This ain't got shit to do with me. I don't got no hair. You know what I mean? So the Afros and audio don't got nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? It's about the community, you know, and what we can create and build together. So I encourage everybody on this live, I mean, who wants to be involved. It's about how we move this thing forward, you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
because that's the only way. That's the only way. I'm one person. You know, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I know the fuck I am, and so that's why I was said, okay, we got this. But I didn't know what I was doing, right?
Yeah.
And so I learned, and I'm going to continue to learn, and I'm going to continue to grow, and this is going to continue to grow and move. But we
Yeah.
can only do it. We're only as strong as our community, and so I need you, like
Yes.
you're needed. You're needed. and that's how Afros and Audio grows, and it's an individual leadership. I don't believe that there's one leader. I think there are people that make a choice.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's the other deliberate act, that me, somehow I'm different from you. I'm just a person who made a fucking choice and stuck with it until I realized the dream, the vision, right? But any of us, every last one of us are capable. You know, every last one of us has it in us to make a choice and create and make it do what it do, because that's all it's about, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And, I love, I love how you say that we are only as strong as our community, like that is so powerful. This is a reciprocal relationship. You know what I'm saying? I always say, like, we are on this journey together. And that is the journey of life. It doesn't matter where you are in your journey. We're all at different points in our journey. Some of us are a little bit further ahead, and some of us is a little bit more further behind. You know what I'm saying? Some of us have been where others are, and some of us hope to be where others stand, but it is a shared journey. We are on this journey together, and that in and of itself makes us a community. And so for those of us who are looking for community, those of us who are looking for, kinfolk, you know what I'm saying? Kinfolk that ain't necessarily skinfolk, as they say, but looking for a space and a place that they can grow, a space and a place that they can spread their wings and things like that. Afros and Audio is a great community, that's being built for that purpose. And we do need you. We need everybody that's on this live stream. We need everybody that, is not on this live stream. Like, in order for us to be able to keep doing the work that we're doing, we need for you to keep letting us know that you need it. We need for you to keep showing up, because a huge part of what we're doing in Afros and Audio is, it's not enough. I think it's not just about, it's not just about amplifying those voices and things like that. The other piece of this, the other side of this, is making sure that we set a standard for compensation.
Absolutely.
For Black voices, because historically, Black voices have been undervalued, even though they are the biggest money makers out there. Right? We've heard countless stories. Lil Richard, bless his heart, rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? Lil Richard, every chance he got till the day he died, he made sure you knew white people stole rock and roll from me. That was my thing. I did rock and roll.
Word.
And they put that white boy up there and said he was the father of rock and roll. Right? So we know that historically, Black voices have been undervalued, oppressed, shut down, shut out, and stolen from us and monetized by people who know nothing of the struggle that created those voices.
Absolutely.
Right? Who know nothing of the reality of what went into creating those voices. And so we not only want to create this community and create a stage for Black voices to be heard and amplified, but we want to create a standard of compensation for Black creatives, right? And so we are doing that in a lot of different ways. And Todd, go ahead and just share with them some of the different things that we're doing to try to help set that standard in and around the Black creative and Black podcasting community.
All right, sure, definitely. So we recently partnered with Acast, which is an audio platform. Do really dope work. But there's a representation, that is missing from their space. And before COVID shut everything down, they did a in-person panel called A-Class Black, and that had T with Queen and Jay, the two hosts of that, and Torre from the Torre Show, and I believe it was another voice in the room. But they wanted to continue that practice and or those events, and then COVID shut everything down. So they reached out to us. They were considering being sponsors for the festival, and so they reached out to us to see what else that they could support and contribute to. And so we started this summer virtual series, aka Afros and Audio Podcast Creative Kickback. You got Latrice to thank for that for that name, and so what that is that we've already done June 10th, and that was podcast launch formula with Jerry Thompson III, who has the show at the Point Noir show, and the next one we'll have the tech talk, and then we have several others. Latrice is doing hers. What's the name of yours? Virtual.
Mine is Virtual Stage Fight: How to Overcome Your Fear of Showing Yourself Online.
And then and then lastly, we have Inside the Black Podcaster Studio, the Black Podcaster Studio, because that's the important part. And obviously that's a playoff of Inside the Actor Studio for all of you who are old enough to know what that is. And you know, and this was about, again, like Latrice said, I initially, and again, this is just me, and so I'm learning, I'm working myself through this, but I told Acast I just need my speakers to be paid, and Latrice said, well, wait a minute, you get to get a little bit of something too. It's like, oh, okay, true. All right, so then we got a budget with Acast, and so we're paying our speakers. The festival is a little different. It's massive. It's got a lot of people. But the goal, I mean, the true end goal is that we are collaborating in a way different, because let's face it, being a podcaster is actually an entrepreneurial thing. It has an entrepreneurial spirit about it. And so it's you doing your own thing on your own terms, right? And again, podcasting is so new that there's formats and there's structures, but there also isn't. You're creating. This is your canvas. You do whatever the hell you want to do in this space. You know what I mean? It gets to look like you want it to look, without any permission or any knocking at nobody's door. If anything, we kicking. But beyond that, it's really about being able to make this such a organization that we're able to sponsor. You know, we're able to push different movements forward. We can create something that's grand and global now that we are virtual. When, you know, the moment it hits the internet, it becomes a global thing. And so what we're working to do is make sure that Afros and Audio is on that level that we can compensate in so many ways, in so many different ways, whether it's youth programming or boot camps, just like, you know, some of those companies that shall not be named, you know, do and create boot camps and all of these things. And that was another catalyst for this. And I failed to mention that, is that, you know, 18,000 women of color applied for this one opportunity. And
I was one of them.
And 13 of them got something. And then 17,000 and however many that is, because I can't count, you know, the door was closed. And I'm like, oh, hell no. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Continuously asking and allowing these people to continue to open the door just that much and say we're lowering barriers. How are you lowering a barrier that you created? Dismantle the bitch already.
Yes.
What are you lowering it for? I can walk straight through. I don't need to climb over nothing. So this is the industry. This is the industry where we're either going to create what we will, make it what we want it to be, shape it how we see it, how we envision it, or not. Or not, because there's no reason. It's 2020 for the third time. We're free people.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. That it is. That's really what it comes down to. And you know, I keep hearing you say, you know, this idea that we need to stop, or it's not so much about us trying to get a seat at their table, but making them recognize that we have a table of our own.
Yeah, and you
We
may
have
say
chairs.
there's a
We
little bit
got
of
we
room.
got good, all the good food over
Yeah,
here. We putting all this good
yeah,
seasoning in our potato salad and things. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Like, we got a table of our own, and you all need to be coming trying to get a seat at our table versus it being the other way
Yeah,
around. And
yeah,
I do believe that podcasting and the whole audio industry right now is affording us with an opportunity to be able to really verbalize that our table exists, that we no longer need to be sitting at your table. And so I love, you know, the partnership that we have with Acast. It means a lot to me. You know what I'm saying? It does. It means a lot to me as a Black creative who has been in the industry for 3 years now, and it ain't nothing nobody could tell me to make me believe that my show is not the shit. My show is damn good. You
right,
know what I'm
right.
saying? Like, my show is damn good. And I have listened to other shows that have, you know, all of these different that have all of these different sponsorships and things like that. Like, I do online counseling with the online platform called BetterHelp. And I reached out to BetterHelp and I said, hey, BetterHelp, I'm a therapist on your platform. My clients are extremely happy. I got a 4.7 out of 5 rating. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm on this shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing this shit. I got a Instagram following. I got 6,000 plus Facebook followers. I got a Facebook group. I have this following that I've built for myself. How about y'all sponsor my show? They never even responded to my email. A few weeks later, I get a new client on BetterHelp that is, of course, a white person, you know, like a white podcaster who just got a sponsorship with BetterHelp, and a part of her sponsorship came of a free, like a free counseling came with a part of her sponsorship, in addition to the money that she was receiving. And I went, of course, you know, I went listen to her show. Why would I not? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I went and listened to her show, and I'm like, her show ain't even about mental health.
Well,
How does that even make sense? You see what
no.
I'm saying?
Oh,
And
listen.
so we are fighting to be seen. We are fighting to be heard. But the reality is that what we bring to the table is superior, and they need to be trying to come to us. And so this partnership with Acast, for Acast to come this way and say, hey, we see what y'all are doing. We see that you all are trying to amplify Black voices, and we want to be a part of that, right? It kind of, it confirmed for me. I don't want to use the word validate, but it confirmed for me that this is something that can happen.
Yeah.
You know, that there are people in this industry who can see the value in our voices and in our stories and be willing to put the money behind it.
Absolutely.
That this is
Absolutely.
a model that we can actually grow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I respect that and I appreciate that. I always will. However, my priority conversation is that we see ourselves, you know, and we recognize that what anyone else can do, we can do it, and it's quite possible we can do it better. But we won't unless we will, you know, if that makes sense. And
It does.
and so it really is about us beginning to recognize our power. You know, because it's undeniable. However, we have been deliberately and intentionally steered wrong, and then consider some of us on one side of the fence and some of us on the other, when we're all on the same damn fence, fighting this white inferiority complex system. You know, so we've got to it's time. When you look at our ancestors, you look at our people and you say they did so much with so little.
Yeah.
And then we over here with conversations about why we can't. You know? That's socialization, and I got it. I understand it. But as Rafiki said, it is time.
Come on, Rafiki reference. You better quote Rafiki.
Yeah. We know how to do this. We really do. And so it's just time. It's time for us to create and reimagine ourselves in the ways in which we are powerful enough to create.
Yeah, I'm definitely down for that. Let's get into these comments a little bit, because y'all have been talking down. Y'all just been communicating with us, and we just been holding our own little conversation. So let's see what y'all have to say. Facade Pod, hey Facade, that's Facade. I'm about to look. I can read now. I can read. Says Black creatives go hard. D Carey says, what is going on with Instagram right now? There we go. Speakers getting paid is extra dope, but pay you too. Yes, hallelujah, praise Jesus. Black work in every medium is undervalued. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. Facade Pod said, set a standard for compensation in an extra large black tee, please. They saying they need that shirt. That shirt needs to be made available. We're gonna work on that, Facade Pod, but for definite, Talib, go ahead and show them your shirt, what you got on. Those are gonna be made available very soon on the website as well. Look at that logo. I mean, that is just listen, that makes so much sense, and I enjoys it. Jessica says he is dope. Yes. Bootleg like Jazz says, I heard the last 6 minutes and I really love it. Well, listen, we got 6 minutes to bring you on over, and we glad we did the job. Hallelujah.
I appreciate you all for joining us. I don't want to hold you, but I know we had that little technical difficulty. But we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. And I'd love for any of you who want to jump on and have a conversation and want to talk your shit or talk about your podcast or what you're up to. That's what this is for. This is what the platform is for. And so reach out to info at afrosandaudio.com. Let us know that you want to be a part of the conversation, that you want to step up. And Latrice has all the back end. She the whole, host on this. And sometimes it'll be me. I believe in support. You don't have to bear it all. And sometimes y'all can just take over and talk some shit. We'll just be sitting here watching y'all. And so it's really about this community, and building it up. And again, it's not about one person. It's not about one podcast. It's about all of our voices, because there's power in it. It'll knock down mountains,
Yes, it will.
But we got to know it, and we got to show up for ourselves. A lot of times when people get in their bag, like, nobody showed up to my shit, I'm like, sometimes people ain't showing up for themselves, let alone showing up for you.
Listen, you done said a whole word. Listen.
So show up for yourself. This is what we're here to do, and I believe in you. That's it. Otherwise, I'd be taking a nap right now. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean? You
is strong. You is what it is. You is strong. You is smart. You is important. Okay.
Word.
Yes. If you don't know nothing else, you definitely need to know that. We appreciate each and every one of you for supporting Afros and Audio. Once again, this is the Afros and Audio virtual podcast creative kickback. We We do this every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, right here on the Afros and Audio Instagram page. It's really just some Black creatives and Black podcasters getting together to talk about whatever we want to talk about in that particular moment. So you all make sure you put this on your calendar, or as I like to say, put this on your list of shit to do, and make sure that you show up every Wednesday. Head on over to afrosandaudio.com and make sure that you register for the virtual summer series. We have part 2 is happening on June 15th. It is 100% free, okay?
Yep.
And we are doing the, this one on the 15th is gonna be the expert Q&A, the live expert Q&A. It's a tech talk, all right? So we have some tech, I'm talking about, I want to call them gods, but I feel like that's sacrilegious, but I feel like that's the word I want to use.
Yeah.
We got, go ahead.
Really some dope people. Conscious from Bonfire Radio, if anyone knows about them, TK in the AM, him and Conscious and TK do a lot of great work for the community. And so Conscious is going to do a July 15th Tech Talk. He's going to lead that fireside chat. And TK Keisha will be doing our Inside the Black Podcast studio. And we're also going to have Wise Grisette from Indie Creative Network and Afrika Hannibal from Break Bread Studios. It's a Black-owned studio in Brooklyn. It don't get no doper than that. It
Listen.
Really doesn't. So they're going to come and they're going to provide information. You know, information. How many times have you gone to these bigger, you know, conferences and you walk away with your answers, with your questions not answered, for whatever reason, whether you don't even feel comfortable speaking it up in the room, and this is your space. This is your time to ask those questions, get those questions answered, and know that we're leading with love and we're here to support y'all. And that's it. Period.
That's it. You can make sure that, well, if you're watching this, you're probably already following Afros and Audio here on Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram at Latrice Sampson Richards. You can follow Talib at Coach_Talib. Make sure that you get you some, go on and sign up and all that good stuff, and make sure that you stay up to date. Also, sign up for the Afros and Audio newsletter over at afrosandaudio.com, right at the bottom of the page. Go down to the bottom and it's super easy. Put your email address in there and sign up for the newsletter so that you can never, ever miss another event that we have going on. Make sure that you stay informed because that's what we're here for. Ty, you have any closing words?
No, y'all just show up. Y'all just come through. Let us know what you'd like to do, what you're interested in doing, and how we can build this community together. So if y'all have any thoughts, let's do this. You know, that's what it's here for. And I appreciate y'all for joining and receiving what we had to offer this evening. So thank y'all.
Yeah. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. And until next time, be well. Bye.
Peace.